欢迎来中国的上海，今天我给你看我最好的公园，欢迎来桂林公园。Roughly translated, good morning and welcome back to Shanghai, China. Today I'm going to show you my favorite park, Guilin Park. This is an extreme hidden gem here in Shanghai. So when you visit Shanghai, definitely visit this park. Just don't tell anyone, okay? It's a secret. I can already hear singing. We have people practicing their musical instruments. We have a whole choir over here. I'm telling you, any park you go to in China, in the morning or afternoon, there will be old people there doing something, dancing, singing, playing an instrument, or just relaxing, playing games. Incredible. And this is my favorite park in Shanghai. There's about 1 million parks in Shanghai, but this is my favorite. So today is day 4 of my visit to Shanghai, but I used to live here. I lived in Shanghai for 2 years and I only lived a few miles away from this park, so I came here a lot of times just to relax, and I thought today that I would talk about the good and bad things about living in Shanghai, living in China in general, because it's an amazing place. It's incredible, and I'm so excited to be back and showing you some interesting things around the city. Like, I think this might be the first time a lot of people are seeing China, so I hope that you've been surprised. I hope that you're interested to see more, because it's an amazing place. Nothing out of the ordinary, just a normal morning here in China. It's an incredible country, I'm telling you, and if you ever get the opportunity to visit, definitely do it, because there's no country like China. I've been to over 60 countries and nowhere compares to this place, and it's incredible. I'm so extremely blessed that I got to live here for a few years and experience the real China, like I'm really trying to show you in these videos, the real China. Because more and more foreigners are now visiting China. Now is the easiest time ever in the history of humanity to visit China. I don't have a visa for China. I'm here for 6 days because I'm in transit. So definitely look up if your passport is eligible to visit China visa free, because it's a great opportunity to see an amazing country. And this park is just unreal. It's absolutely beautiful. This is one of the things I absolutely love about China. Like, they look after stuff. A lot of this stuff is so preserved, and parks are definitely one of them. I see a little frog over here. There he goes. But they look after their parks in China, and you can go to any big town, big city, small town, village, and they're gonna have beautiful parks like this. Of course, absolutely free. You don't need to pay a penny to visit parks like this. You can just walk in, appreciate it. And like I said, anywhere you go, you're gonna see older people just sitting around relaxing. There are so many old people just sitting over there. They'll be dancing, they'll be singing, playing their instrument, they'll be just hanging out, playing some board games. And that's what life is like in China. And of course, I didn't experience that kind of life in China, but as a foreigner living in China, it was an incredible experience. There are just so many places to get lost in this park. It's absolutely amazing. I always appreciate green spaces like this in big cities, because London has a lot of green spaces and big cities need it. Like, people need an opportunity to get away from the crowds and the busyness, and if you just step outside the park, it's so busy, it's so crowded, there's cars beeping everywhere, there's motorbikes, and you know, everybody's in a rush. Every single person is in a rush, and you enter the park and it's so relaxing, and the people are so relaxed. Like, that's a big part of it too, like surrounding yourself with other people that just want to come here and relax, you know. Like, I've never ever seen this park crowded. I've never seen another foreigner in this park. Like I said, visit this park, but you know, don't tell anyone else, keep it a secret. So when I lived in Shanghai, I was very lucky to visit so many cities around the country. And I've been to big cities, I've been to small cities, I've been to villages, I've met the people, and there's parks like this everywhere. Like, this is my favorite one. But this is literally a normal Chinese park, and if you go to a park in the UK or the US, what are you going to find there? One, you're going to find probably homeless people. Two, you're going to find people drinking alcohol. You're going to find probably graffiti, and they are not going to be looked after like parks in China. This is an absolute amazing place to come and relax. You don't have to spend every single day visiting China, going 100 miles an hour, seeing everything. And of course there's so much to see, but sometimes you just need to relax a little bit. And we have a small light sprinkle of rain this morning, but it's just incredible. Like I said, this park is never ever packed, but step outside the gates and there's going to be 1 million people there. But Chinese people take pride in their stuff, and not saying people in the Western world don't, but something's gone wrong somewhere, because we don't have clean parks like this. Like, we don't have a place to get away and we know it's going to be relaxing. Like, I don't know where I would go to get away and just relax in London. Of course they have parks, but not as beautiful as this. You know, of course you're going to find huge open areas that you can go and relax and there's nothing there, but a place to walk around for free that you know is going to be relaxing, and you know, I'm not going to be in any danger. Nobody's going to hurt me. Nobody's drinking alcohol. I don't need to be careful. There's no graffiti. You know, we don't have places like this, and it's really sad. But Chinese people need this. Chinese people want this, and they take care of it because everybody can use it. Everybody can appreciate it. And I'm very lucky that I got to experience a lot of these things when I lived here. And I'm so glad that I can show you, because today we're going to talk about what life was like as a foreigner living in China. Good and bad. Of course there's good and bad. I've said many great things about China in these videos since I've been here. I've said a few bad things too, because of course there's bad. Like, nowhere is perfect. And I think a lot of people have been surprised watching my videos, because like I said, this is maybe the first time a lot of people are seeing China before. And maybe you're surprised about what I've been saying. Maybe you're surprised that life is really like this in China. I was the same. Like, before I came here, I had a huge opinion about China, but I only had an opinion about China because of what I've heard and the news and the media and all that stuff. Like, I'm not going to talk about that crap today because it's just rubbish, but that's where most people get their opinion about China from, is the media. And 99% of the things that the media say about China, it's bad. Can it really be that bad? No, it's not. Let me tell you right there, no, it's not that bad. But for some reason, the media has these many bad things to say about China, and I've been here, I've experienced it. Nobody's paid me a single penny to say good things about China, and this is really just normal life in China. And it really feels like I'm 1,000,000 miles away from England. Like 1,000,000 miles, because like I said, we just don't have places like this, and people's behavior here is so different. And of course everything is different. The food is different, language, people's behavior, the way they do things here, transport, convenience. Like, I'm going to talk about all that stuff today. But yeah, this park is absolutely huge, and let's find a quiet spot, but there's quiet spots everywhere. All right, let's sit here for a little bit. I can just see people through there doing something. We'll check that out in a second, but let's sit here, let's talk about some stuff. Okay, so last night I made a list. It's not really a good and bad things about living here. It's kind of things that I miss and things that I don't miss, because I feel like when you live somewhere and then you leave and then you come back, it's like, oh yeah, I remember I didn't like that, and oh yeah, I remember that's really great, you know. Like, that's how I felt like coming back. And always good and bad. But yeah, if you've really been enjoying these China videos, I appreciate it so much. Like, hit the subscribe if you want to see more, because I have a few more days in Shanghai, and then I'll be traveling to a few other Asian countries. So the next few months I'm going to be in Asia, and this is just the start. Like, I'm going to be filming every single day, seeing new places, and yeah, this is just the start. So let's talk about some good and bad things about living in Shanghai, China. So the first thing that I absolutely miss is safety. This is an absolutely undisputed winner and great thing about living in China. I've been to over 60 countries, and China is the #1 safest country I have ever been to. I never ever feel like I'm in danger here. And I know a lot of people are going to be surprised by that because of what they've heard on the news, but it's absolutely true. The safety in China is an absolute joke. It's so safe for children, for women, for foreigners that don't speak Chinese. Like, it's so safe. And this is just something that's not true in Western countries, especially England, especially London. Every single 5 seconds when I'm in London, I'm looking over my shoulder just to make sure that no one's following me or I'm not in danger. And you can say I'm being paranoid, but you know, bad things happen there, and I've never felt in danger here, ever. And what's the reasons for that? There's many reasons for that. I'm not going to talk about it today, but there's many reasons why China is extremely safe. And I know a lot of people are not going to believe that It doesn't change my opinion. It doesn't change my experiences, what you believe or not, because I've seen it, I've experienced it. Never, ever, ever, ever felt like I've been in danger living in China as a foreigner. Don't speak Chinese, don't know where I'm going, I'm lost. It doesn't matter. China's extremely safe and I miss it. All right, the next thing that I miss is my job. I miss my job. So I was a primary school teacher. I worked in a primary school here in Shanghai, and I just miss so many things about it. Like, I got so much more respect being a teacher here. I've been a teacher in the UK, I've been a teacher and a coach in the US as well, and I got so much more respect here from the students, from the teachers, from the parents, from the other people working in the school, from the principal. I got so much more respect here. And I got more money here too. Like, my salary here was extremely good. I definitely miss the money, and I do make money from YouTube now, but I will tell you this. Since I've been making money on YouTube, I have not even made half as much as I was making as a primary school teacher here in China. So I think that could tell you about just how well paid it is to be an English teacher here in Shanghai. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the freedom that I have now. You know, like, I'm so lucky. I can just jump on a flight to Shanghai, film some videos, and I'm gonna make money from these videos. And that's my job now. That's kind of my job. But I absolutely miss being a teacher. I absolutely miss being a teacher in China, in Shanghai. It was an incredible experience, and just the respect is so much higher. And it's a shame, because teachers should be respected, and they're kind of not in the UK and the US and many Western countries. And that wasn't my experience here. You know, like, I miss it so much. I had so much fun. My class was definitely the fun class, and I miss my students. I still get messages from them, and I haven't lived in Shanghai for a year and a half. So I left 18 months ago. July 2023 is when I left. All right, the next thing I miss about living in Shanghai, China, is every single day was a new adventure. I was still discovering new things, traveling around the country, meeting new people, eating new food, and just going out there and seeing places. And safety is a big part of this, because there's a lot of places I wouldn't even go in England. I'm British, I lived in England my whole life, and there's still places that I wouldn't go because I don't feel safe there. But here, never, ever, ever. Safety never stopped me going anywhere. Like I said, I've been to tiny villages, and I've met people that I'm the first foreigner they've ever met in their life. That could be extremely hard to believe, but it's absolutely true. And people will stare at you, people will take pictures of you, people will run up to you, people will treat you like you're something that they've never experienced before. And you know, it's a strange feeling, to be honest, and I didn't do anything to deserve that, you know, just because I look different from many people. And you know, it's a fun experience. I'll talk about being looked at in a second, because it could be good and bad. But yeah, just experiencing new things and discovering new things and traveling around the country. It's so easy to travel around the country. Convenience is another thing I'm going to talk about in a second. But by the way, if you're going to watch this video and then write a comment, no, you're absolutely wrong, it's just my opinion, it's just my experience. If you don't agree with it, okay, life goes on. Doesn't change my experiences, you know. Tell me your opinion, tell me why. You can tell me why from your experiences, don't tell me why because this is what you've heard, you know. Just my experience. I think we're in for a treat today. Just wait until you see this. But this is not even like a lucky day. This happens every single day. This is just normal in China. Wait until you see this. Look at all these ayis dancing. Beautiful. Like I said, just a normal morning here in Shanghai. You never ever know what you're gonna see. Every day, seeing new stuff. Alright, the next thing I miss about living in Shanghai and China is public transport. I think it should be a God-given right to every single person to have access to reliable, cheap public transport. And in England, we don't have it. The London Underground is a joke, to be honest. We get absolutely mugged off because it's extremely expensive, it's unreliable, it's not clean, it's dangerous, and it's pretty bad, to be honest. It's pretty bad. And you come here and Shanghai Metro is the best in the world. It's extremely affordable, it's so clean, it's so safe, and it's so reliable. Everybody uses it because it's so affordable. I can get from one side of Shanghai to the other side of Shanghai on the Shanghai Metro, and it's going to cost me $1, $1 US. If I go from one side of London to the other side of London, I'm going to be paying 10 times that. It's an absolute joke. New York subway is the same. It's so incredibly dirty, it's so dangerous, bad things happen every single day. But yeah, the Shanghai Metro is absolutely amazing. It's the best in the world. It's absolutely incredible. And I haven't even talked about like bullet trains, like high-speed trains. Again, they're so affordable in China. For example, let's say London to Edinburgh. That's probably 5 times the distance from Shanghai to Beijing. But Shanghai to Beijing is going to be so much more cheaper, so much faster, so much more reliable, so much cleaner. It's an absolute joke, to be honest. Like, every single time I watch one of these vlogs of like foreigners that visit China, or just go on YouTube, type in China vlog, you'll see so many foreigners that visit China. They all say exactly the same thing. Public transport here is so amazing, and it's the truth. It's the absolute truth. We're getting absolutely mugged off in the Western world. Even in Europe, like I travel, of course I've been to so many countries in Europe, and the trains are so expensive. It's an absolute joke, like everywhere. And then you come here and it's just the complete opposite. It's amazing, really. I miss it. The next thing I want to talk about is affordability. The fact that I can go on the street of Shanghai and get a delicious dinner for $3 to $5 is it's a joke, to be honest. It's a joke, because you can't get anything for $5 or £5 in London or New York, and definitely not a dinner anyway. And it's going to be so much more delicious here, and yeah, you can't get anything for that money in the Western world. And I'm going to say it again, we're getting mugged off. We just talked about the public transport, extremely affordable. Food is extremely affordable. Travel, buying stuff, like you can get new shoes for just a ridiculous amount of price. And the other day I went to the Oriental Pearl Tower, like to the top of the tower, and even like the souvenirs is reasonably priced. And you know, if you go to the tourist attractions in London or New York, absolute joke of a price. Like they upcharge you so much, and it just doesn't happen here. And of course there's nicer restaurants. If you go to a Western restaurant, you're going to be paying like London prices, but if you go to a Chinese restaurant, the food's going to be delicious. You're going to pay a fraction of the price, and yeah, absolute bargain. And I love finding like these tiny Chinese restaurants, and it has like 5 tables in there, and yeah, those are the ones that you want to go to get the most delicious food, and it's going to cost you a few dollars. Amazing. So one thing that's not affordable is rent. It's extremely expensive to live, to get an apartment in Shanghai, because I remember when I was finding my apartment, it's extremely difficult. One, because being a foreigner, like you can't just live anywhere. Like a lot of places won't take foreigners. That's another story, but yeah, just the prices. You will definitely pay more as a foreigner, definitely, because some places they need like a license or something to house foreigners, and not everybody has it, and they definitely upcharge you as a foreigner. So I guess that's the negative. All right, let's keep walking here. Let's see what else we discover. I remember coming up here once, one afternoon, I think it was a Sunday, and there was a few people walking around, but not too many. There's like a top of the hill we can sit on over there, so let's go and find it. The Ai's are still dancing. By the way, Ai means auntie. So that's another thing that I like, is the respect. If I don't know someone's name and they're a little bit older than me, then I can call them Ai. Let's see if we can see any turtles. I'm trying to be very careful because the rock's a little bit wet. But we can go up there. Let's go sit up there. So the next thing I absolutely love about Shanghai and China is convenience. Convenience. Nobody has cash. Like, I came here with 0 Chinese cash. Everything is paid for on your phone, and you don't need to carry any cash. Every single thing I can do on my phone. I can pay my rent on my phone. I can use the transport. I can get a taxi. And that's another thing that's extremely affordable, taxis. Like, I can go from the airport to the city for a few dollars. It's crazy, really. How do I get up there? Here. Yeah, a convenience, like the shared bikes. Everybody takes care of the shared bikes. You put them in London or New York, someone will steal them, they get trashed. The portable chargers, you can get portable chargers absolutely anywhere, and it's going to cost you $1 to charge your phone. Nobody steals them. Found our own little private spot. By the way, today is 11 a.m. on a Friday. So yeah, convenience. I absolutely love how easy it is to live in Shanghai. Like, I think that's probably one of the main ones. Like, it's so easy to live here. It's extremely easy, even as a foreigner. And Taobao is another one. I absolutely love Taobao. Taobao is like Chinese Amazon. You can get absolutely anything. Like, if I want to order like a live fish right now, I can get a live fish like in an hour. It's incredible, and you can get absolutely anything. It's so cheap. You're not going to pay ridiculous like delivery charges. The same as like ordering food. So they have Ele.me and they have Meituan, which are like food delivery apps. And I don't use like the ones at home, like I don't even know their names, Uber Eats and something. I don't use them because sometimes the delivery charge is like the same amount as your food. Doesn't happen here. Like, you're going to be paying a few yuan for delivery charges. When we go outside, I'll show you the delivery drivers, because There's a negative about traffic and dangerous streets, but yeah, you got to look out for the e-bikes, the electric bikes, because the delivery drivers, they're no joke. All right, the next positive or thing that I miss is 我喜欢说中文，很多事情我没说中文，所以现在我的中文不好。I love speaking Chinese. It's so much fun, and it helps make your life so much easier. Of course, if you visit China, you don't need to speak Chinese, but if you're going to live here, you got to learn a little bit, like even just ordering in a restaurant or ordering a taxi or like asking for direction, like something, like you need to speak something if you're going to live here, because it makes life so much easier, and you are going to get so much respect if you speak Chinese, because the local people here, they understand how difficult it is to learn Chinese. So if they see, wow, a foreigner took the time to learn our language, I get so much respect for that, and I get a lot of laughs, I get a lot of looks, but you know, I absolutely love it. And my favorite thing is surprising people that I can actually speak and I can actually understand them. Yes, I have caught people talking about me behind my back, and I turn around and say, oh, I understand what you're saying, by the way. Never anything bad, but you know, it's funny seeing their reaction when they don't realize that I can understand them. But yeah, it makes life so much easier. You get a lot of respect, and it's fun. Like, I think that's the thing that I like the most. Like, it's so much fun speaking Chinese, and it's so difficult. It's extremely difficult. Like, reading is a completely different thing. Like, because I feel like anybody can pick up an English book and they can read the words. Maybe they don't understand what it means, but if you pick up a Chinese book, you either know it or you don't. You know, like, you have to remember the characters, because there's like so many different characters, and like a little line can like change the character, change the meaning. So you either know it or you don't. Like, it's as simple as that. And you can't guess. Like, you can't give someone a Chinese book and say, read this. Like, you can't. But you can give someone an English book and they can read it. They can read elephant. They don't know what it means, but you know, they can guess how to say it. You can't do that with a Chinese book. So yeah, reading is a completely new thing. Like, I can't read that well, but yeah, I think my speaking's okay. And yeah, I love people's reaction when I start to speak Chinese, because they don't expect it. All right, I have a few more positives if I try not to break my neck going down here, but a few more positives. Then let's talk about the negatives, because of course there are some. Xiao Xin. Here, I'll give you the perfect example. Like, look at this. You either know it or you don't. You can read it or you can't. Like, you cannot guess. Like, nobody can look at that and like have a guess what it means. You can't. But in English, you can guess at least. Maybe you don't know the meaning, but you can at least guess how to read it. But Chinese, no chance. All right, the next positive, something that I miss, is the quality of life. So last night I met up with some colleagues that I used to work with at my primary school, and we were talking about, like, people go out after work and it's so affordable, and the work-life balance is so good here. And I feel like that's not the case in the UK and the US, like the Western countries, because I mean, how many of you finish work and then go out with your friends? Like, maybe you do, like, sometimes, but here, some of my friends were talking about last night, like literally every single night they go and do something. They go and play board games, they go to a bar, they go and do something fun, you know, just because it's so affordable. Like, you can do anything you want to do, and yeah, just the balance is so much better here. As a foreigner, like, of course everything I'm talking about is as a foreigner, and just doesn't happen in the Western countries, which is kind of sad, because, you know, people got to live, you know, everyone has to work, but, you know, people have got to live, and it's so much easier here to do that. All right, let's get straight into the negatives, because of course there are some. Number one is the crowds. No doubt about it. The crowds are absolutely everywhere. I mean, you got to fit 1 billion people somewhere, right? But there's always people everywhere. Everywhere. Like, you cannot go anywhere, any time of day, any place, and there won't be people there. Like, no chance. Like, no way. And it definitely affects me a lot. Like, so many times I didn't even want to go outside my apartment because, oh, I want to go there today, but I know there's going to be 1 billion people there. And I wouldn't say it gets frustrating, but sometimes you just want to get away from people and don't see anyone, and it doesn't happen here, to be honest. And like I said, you got to fit 1 billion people somewhere, but yeah, people everywhere. The crowds are just insane. But also the behavior of people is different, because another thing, Chinese people do not know personal space, and their self-awareness is so low. Like, Chinese people will literally stop in the middle of a walkway and they won't even think about people behind them. Like, cars will stop in the middle of the street and they don't care about anyone else. It's just culture, you know, this is just a cultural thing. I'm so surprised that people don't get run over every single day, to be honest, because the streets are so dangerous and people do whatever they want to do. They don't see anybody else, they don't think about anybody else, and yeah, just the self-awareness is so low. It's incredible, really. I'm like, how did you survive? How did you get to 50 years old and not know that it's not okay to just stop in the middle of the street, you know? Anyway, it's just cultural stuff, and that's one thing that I extremely dislike, self-awareness. Like, people will literally line up back to back. Like, please don't touch me. Like, especially when it's hot, especially when it's crowded, like, please don't touch me. But, you know, just a cultural thing, and people have no problem with lining up and touching people, and like, just please just put a foot between us, please. That really affected me when I lived here. Like, no personal space, no self-awareness, and yeah, crowds absolutely everywhere. And the next thing I don't miss about living in China, it's kind of related to that one, is the loudness. People speak so loud, especially the IEs, especially on the metro. It really grinds, like, it grinds my brain, and yeah, it will give you a headache just because people are shouting and they don't realize that every single person around them is, I mean, that's the thing, like, maybe everybody around them is not annoyed because it's just completely normal to them, but for me, like, it's incredible the way people speak on public transport and in general, and especially the IEs. Like, I don't want to pick on the IEs because, you know, they're sweet people and they give me respect, but yeah, the IEs are extremely loud, and if you're Chinese and you know some IEs, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is a stereotype, but it's absolutely true, and just culture, you know, it's just culture, and anyone that gets mad that I'm saying that, tell me it's not true. Chef. The next thing that I don't miss is the streets. We just talked about it a little bit. The streets are so dangerous, like incredibly dangerous. And when I lived here, I had an e-scooter, I had an e-bike, and it took me around 35 to 40 minutes to ride to work every single day. It's so much fun. Like, I love riding the e-scooter, it's so much fun, but the roads are just a joke. Like I said, nobody follows the rules. People don't follow the lights. People do whatever they want to do. Nice bridge here, by the way. Really nice. If you're lucky, you might see some turtles, but yeah, the streets are a joke, to be honest, and you got to concentrate every single second, which of course you should anyway, but here you really have to concentrate. Like, because my friend Luke, he also had a scooter, like, we worked together, and he would listen to music when he was on his scooter. I never did once. I never ever listened to music while I was riding my scooter, because I feel like I would be, even just like 1% distracted is enough for something bad to happen here. Like, you need to be like concentrating every single second while you're riding a scooter, because it's not that I'm a bad rider or a driver, I don't trust anybody else, you know, because I expect everybody to pull out in front of me or stop or like do something that's going to make something bad happen. And the next bad thing, I was going to save it for the last one, but it literally just happened right there. A lady took my picture and she was kind of like, let me show you, she was kind of like this with her phone. So I waved, I said, ni hao zhao. So it happens every single day. People will take your picture if you look like a foreigner. People will come up to you and try to practice their English. People will look at you. People will nudge their friend and say, why Goren, which means foreigner. And it happens every single day. Yes, it does happen in big cities. And you just got to deal with it. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Like, I used to wear a hat. I used to wear sunglasses and a mask on those bad days where I didn't want anybody looking at me or speaking to me, or, you know, like, don't give me any attention. But 99% of the time, I absolutely loved it. It was so much fun. Never ever had a bad experience. But, you know, everybody has those days where they don't want to deal with people, and like I said, a lot of times I wouldn't even go outside my apartment because I knew people would look at me. It's fun. Like I said, she literally just took my picture, and what do they do with those pictures? I have no idea. Like, do they run home, tell their friends that I saw a foreigner today? I have honestly no idea. And if you think I'm exaggerating it, no, like, it happens every single day. Every single day I lived in Shanghai, somebody took my picture. People looked at me, and you get a little bit of a different reaction in Shanghai than like other places. Like, I was just talking about the village. When I was in the village, literally a line of people waiting to take a picture with me. And like I said, it was nothing ever bad. Never ever got treated badly being a foreigner in China. And it was just the attention that I got because I look like this. And now, you know, I didn't do anything to warrant that. I didn't do anything to deserve that. But It's up to you how you deal with it. If you shout and scream, go away, you're going to end up on Chinese social media, and it's going to make it worse because you're going to attract more attention. So just have fun with people. Like I just said ni hao and like good morning to them, and they laughed, and that's it. They move on, and now they can go home and tell their friends I saw a foreigner today in Guilin Park. So I don't know if they do that, but you know, they're just curious. They're just living their life, and you will get treated a lot better here as a foreigner than you would in many Western countries. That's the absolute truth. And think of that whatever you want, like whatever reason you think that could be. But like I said, never had one bad experience being a foreigner here, and it's gonna happen to you if you look like a foreigner. So, you know, prepare yourself for that. All right, the next negative is this thing here, my passport. I'm walking around a park right now, and yes, I do have my passport on me because you need your passport for absolutely everything being a foreigner in China. A photocopy is not good enough. You have to have your passport. Check into a hotel, go to a museum, buy a ticket for anything, take a train. You need your passport for absolutely everything. Of course, the Chinese people have their Chinese ID, and that they have to use that for everything too. But as a foreigner, you need your passport everywhere. Even if you're visiting, even if you're a tourist, even if you live here, you need your passport. So, of course, it's not ideal to carry my passport around, but that's the way things are, and it's got to be done. I don't like it, but yeah, just be aware that you need your passport when you travel to China. All right, one more negative is I didn't realize how annoying this was until I came back, because of course I experienced it every single day, but when I left and come back, I was like, oh yeah, I need to do that now, is the internet. Of course, the many social media sites, Western social media sites, they are blocked, and you need a VPN to do many things. Of course, because I work in social media, I can't get on YouTube or check my email. I can't get on Facebook, I can't get on Instagram, like so many things if I don't have a VPN. Yes, it's extremely annoying. You have to get one, even if you're visiting, even if you're living here, it doesn't matter. If you want to get on these sites, you need to get a VPN. Of course, China has its own Instagram, China has its own YouTube, China has its own everything, you know. So it's not like China doesn't have social media, they just have their own ones. And it doesn't matter if you disagree or agree or not. If you're going to come here, if you're going to visit here, if you're going to live here, you have to deal with it. And it's up to you if you want to access those sites while you're in China. Nothing you can do about it. Just get a VPN is the only thing you can do about it. But yeah, I didn't realize how annoying this was, because I arrived at the airport and I tried to open Instagram and I was like, oh yeah, I need to turn on my VPN because I can't access that. And I definitely got reminded quickly how annoying that was. Let's cross back over the bridge here. I remember the last time I was here, there was a Chinese girl wearing a Chinese dress over there. She was doing a photo shoot. She was absolutely beautiful. I guess that's another thing I like about Shanghai. 我喜欢看中国的女人，很漂亮. So that was Guilin Park. I have no idea how long I just talked for. I don't know if that was a lot to listen to, so I'm sorry if it was a lot of speaking, but you know, I'm so passionate about Shanghai, and I'm so passionate about China. And visit if you get the chance. If you don't want to, great. Doesn't affect anybody else. If you hate China, if you never want to visit, it's okay. It's okay. These videos are never ever about trying to convince you to like China or try and convince you to visit China. It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect my life if you don't want to. It doesn't affect my life if you hate China. It doesn't affect my life if you never want to come here ever. It's okay. Life goes on. But I'm just trying to show you that this is the real China, and good and bad, of course, good and bad. But we're going to leave Guilin Park now. Definitely visit here. If you visit Shanghai, don't tell anyone though, because I want to keep it a secret, because it's a very peaceful park, and we don't need people coming here and wrecking it, because you know, we've got to keep some nice things. But yeah, China takes care of the parks, and there's so many parks in Shanghai, so many. And like I said, this is a very typical Chinese park, and it's so different to parks in the UK, because you go to a park in the UK, in London, and it's just like a green field, and you know, you might get like a playground for kids, and this is a very typical Chinese park, and it's beautiful, to be honest. It's absolutely amazing. Let me show you like the signs here. So nobody can just look at that and like guess what it means. Like absolutely nobody. And that's what Chinese does to you. That's what Mandarin is. And yeah, of course it gets frustrating to not be able to read stuff, but that's my problem. That's my fault. I don't expect anybody to speak English to me. I don't expect China to like accommodate me. You know, it's up to me. If I'm going to come to China, then I need to do what I need to do to survive here, and that means speaking a little Chinese. And I remember here, I took one of my favorite pictures I've ever taken in my life. I'm gonna try and find it. I'll put it on the screen here if I can find it. Hopefully I can, but yeah, I have no idea what this place would be used for. It says out there fitness pavilion. This is never open. Every single time I came here, it's never been open, so I don't know if it's still used by for anything today. But this park is absolutely beautiful. The picture I took was about this angle, and like the whole sky was just lit up blue, and there was like a few clouds in the sky, and yeah, it was beautiful. So visit Guilin Park. We're gonna leave right now and we're gonna jump on the metro. We can go out this way. This entrance wasn't open the last time I came here, but it opens right out to the busy bustling street, and I can just show you just the difference the park makes because it's so peaceful in there. 谢谢再见. And then you literally step out and there's like a billion people out here with scooters dashing around and cars. Let me cross the street because there's a green light. So you look at this huge intersection, so many people, but the metro station is just right there. Ambulance. You gotta be careful because people don't follow the lights, but yeah, Guilin Park has its own metro station just across the street. So I want to say something. This video is not about politics. Like, I don't know about politics. I don't care about politics. Like, nothing I said today is related to politics. It's just about my opinion, just about my experiences. And if you say, well, China is safe because of this, well, the Western world doesn't have this because of this, doesn't matter, you know, it's just my opinion. But here is the closest metro station, Guilin Park Station, exit 5, very important, exit 5. And it is lines 12 and 15. And the park is right there. Let's jump on the metro. As you can see, it's absolutely clear to see. No homeless people, no trash, no rats. It's extremely clean. It's extremely safe because everybody goes through the X-ray, and I'll show you how cheap it is and how convenient it is to use the metro. So all I'm going to do is use my phone, go to Alipay. I'm going to click transport, and this is my metro card. I just scan it, opens, and welcome to the Shanghai Metro. So clean. If you visit Shanghai, no worries because everything on the metro is in English and Chinese. All the announcements will be in English and Chinese, all the signs, the tickets machines, everything will be in English and Chinese. We're only going one stop. So this is the map for the Shanghai Metro. It's absolutely huge. You can get anywhere in the city. So right now we're at Guilin Park, which is there. That's Guilin Park. And I used to live here in Qibao, so it was so close. So here the screen is going to show you, it's going to have a countdown when the next one's coming, then the one after that, the one after that. And of course all the screens are in English as well, so it's so easy to use. So we're gonna go one stop to Shanghai South Railway Station, change to line 1. Oh, no homeless people, no rats, no trash. How very nice. So like I said, this is where I used to live, Qibao. And here's another place I used to live, Yanchang Road. And over here, line 11 is Shanghai Disneyland. It has its own station. And then we have Yuyuan, that is where my hotel is. Lujiazui, that's where the skyline is. Nanjing Road, that's like the main shopping street. And we are going to People's Square, that's where we're going to right now. We are changing lines to line 1 and another spotless station. What a surprise. I swear some of these stations are absolutely huge, and then when you change lines, sometimes it takes like 10-15 minutes to walk to the next line just because they're so big. And some of the stations have like so many exits. I think one of the stations has like almost 30 different exits, which is very important because they go up to the street at different places, so you need to know which exit you're going to. But yeah, sometimes it takes a long time to change lines, over 10 minutes sometimes. You can get some delicious snacks down here. So every station will have a service center. So sometimes they will speak English, not all the times, but it's very easy to use. There's so many apps that you can get where you can like route your journey. So we are changing to line 1.
We are now at Shanghai Indoor Stadium. Doors will open on the left. 广场到了，可换乘2号线、8号线。
So I just rode the Shanghai Metro for 30 minutes and it's going to cost me 4 yuan, which is 50 US cents. Like I said, compare that to the London Underground, New York subway. It's a joke, to be honest. But welcome to Renminguangchang, People Square. It took me the longest time to learn how to say Renminguangchang, People Square. So difficult, but not a very clear day today. The rain is on off all day, but I'm going to mention it again, but one of the most popular parks in Shanghai, prime time location downtown, and zero homeless people. A lot of cats though. The reason I keep saying there's no homeless people here is because it's not normal to have homeless people. I know if you walk around major cities in Western countries, you see them everywhere and it's just normal, but it's not normal. It shouldn't be happening, and it's extremely rare that you see a homeless person here. That's a cool pink Tesla. So I mentioned it in a previous video, but most of the cars on the street of Shanghai, or China in general, there's another Tesla there, they're electric. And Tesla is popular here, but there's so many Chinese brands of electric vehicle. It's a rainy day today, but the temperature is still really nice. It's very comfortable, but now of course it's November, so as soon as the sun sets, it becomes very chilly. So every Tuesday and Thursday for around a year, I used to exit this metro station at People's Square and walk down here to my Chinese class. And right here is a shopping mall. And after every single class, I'd go in there to the bakery and buy some small chocolate cakes for me and my co-teacher. So you want me to show you how dangerous the streets are? Look at this tiny intersection. People are going to cross the street, cars are going to go, there's going to be bikes. By the way, look, this lady's just walking straight in the middle. Cars can go, can turn right even if it's a red light, so be aware. Super dangerous. So down the street there's so many tiny restaurants, and I used to have Chinese class up there. So I used to enter that building, go to like the 30th floor or something, and you won't be able to see it because it's not a clear day, but trust me, it's there. The Oriental Pearl Tower is right there at the end of this street. You can't see it today. So of course the absolute best way to learn a language, you have to go to the country. So being in China, it was very easy to pick up Chinese for the people I work with, just being on the street. And you have to practice. You have to practice with native speakers. Like, you can watch so many videos, read so many books, have so many classes, but if you're not practicing with real people, then it's very difficult to get really good at the language. But yeah, I did have Chinese class. It was so much fun. I learned a lot. I think it's important at the beginning so you can just learn the basics, just so you understand like the phonics, how each letter sounds and stuff like that, because like I said, someone can literally pick up a Chinese book and they won't have a clue how to say the basic words, but at least if you start a class, then that's literally the first thing you learn, like how to say each letter and each word. But yeah, I had classes for around a year, but it was a lot of like practicing by myself, going out in the street and talking to the people. Like I said, all of these people speak Mandarin, so the fact that I was learning Mandarin, it was so convenient for me because I can literally go up to anybody and practice. Found this tiny restaurant. We're gonna try it out. No English menu, but that's okay, let me try. So there's only so much that a menu can tell you. So I got some dumplings, and then I think I got rice balls or something, because I can't read every single character. But these are the kind of restaurants that you want to go to, like the tiny ones. And people are kind. He knows that I can't understand everything, but you know, he appreciates that I try. These ones have rice and veggies inside. That was delicious. So 2 dishes plus a can of Coke, 29 yuan, which is like $4 US. I encourage you, if you ever visit China, go to the smallest restaurant you can and try and order. Like, they're gonna be kind to you and you might get something that you absolutely love. So let's see what else we can find. We're gonna go to Nanjing Road and the Bund. Of course, there's so many Starbucks in China and in Shanghai, but yeah, like I said, I encourage you to get out of your comfort zone. And China's definitely the place to be outside of your comfort zone. There's so many experiences to be had, but it's up to you to walk into a place and order something that maybe you don't know what it is. Maybe the menu's not in English, but you know, it's life experiences. So I was gonna get a drink at a different place, but we're coming up to Mishui Bingcheng. And if you watch my previous videos, I've already had it 2 times, Mishui Bingcheng, but I think we're just gonna get it just because it's delicious every single time. Just coming to Nanjing Road now, it's an absolute circus. So today is a Friday, so of course a lot of people from outside of Shanghai come to Shanghai for the weekend, but we might get some ice cream too. So last night I met up with my people that I used to work with, some of my colleagues from my school, and tonight I'm also meeting with some different ones, so I don't want to eat too much. So welcome to Nanjing Road. This is the main shopping street in Shanghai, and it links People's Square, where we just were the museum, to the Bund, which we're walking to now. And this is where you're going to see so many people. So Nanjing Road is always busy. So I'll tell you what I told you last time. If you are a foreigner and you're a male, and usually when you're alone, if a woman approaches you, a Chinese lady, and she says, "Where are you from? Do you want to go for a drink?" Just say no. They're not just trying to be nice, they're trying to scam you. Always say no. 你好，一个巧克力冰淇淋，一个谢谢。KFC ice cream. Ice cream is 冰淇淋。现在下雨了。Welcome to the bun. This is my favorite part of Shanghai, and the skyline is missing. It's so misty. You cannot see anything. You can just make out the Oriental Pearl Tower, but Shanghai Tower is missing. Jinmao Tower is missing. That is the end of today's video. Thank you so much for exploring Shanghai with me once again. I'm going to be here for a few more days, so there's a few more Shanghai videos coming. So if you would like to see more, then please hit the subscribe, hit the like just to tell me that you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much, channel members, for supporting me. Click the join button below this video to become a channel member, and channel members are going to see some unseen videos from the time that I lived in Shanghai, because I have over 100 videos. I've been to the Great Wall of China, I've seen the Terracotta Warriors. I have so many very, very interesting videos, so channel members are going to see them. So click the join button to see those videos too, and I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.